Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another scintillating, action-packed, and possibly comedy-filled and somewhat vulgar.
Whoa,
Maybe I'll see.
is
Have
that
to see it.
us?
We'll have to see it
No.
go. How it goes.
Matt, you just
Hmm?
Matt, you were like that's what you sound like.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's smooth on my side, so
Oh,
Yeah, you hit a lag spike or something.
This is weird. Can y'all hear me?
I can
Yes.
hear you, but
yes,
we can't see you.
I know. It's like I wonder if it's this crazy wind we're having up here.
it could be. It could be.
I
Yeah.
will go out and come back.
All right. So funny you talk about the wind, the weather advisory. We don't have it here in Concord, but in our television market includes the mountain counties, and they're like telling them to take everything that's a lightweight object inside tonight and all that kind of stuff.
It's
So
pretty bad coming down 40 today. It was like so.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's your AIWF Ringside Wrestling weather report. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, hope you didn't get too damaged in all of it. But
Is that
anyway,
better?
oh yeah, you're back.
Okay. As I was saying, there are a few things I would consider eating off of Jennifer's friends.
No, over. But the reason, but no. I'm his moral compass
I
for
don't know.
some reason.
It's
You're
amazing how
slacking.
many years I've had to have those.
What
I
moral
can't
compass?
believe I'm the moral compass.
Yes.
Reagan, if you're his moral compass, we're all in trouble.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
She keeps me straight a lot. You'd be amazed.
You ever seen a person literally bite their tongue? That's comedic
Mm.
material here for miles, and I'm not getting into it. So anyway, welcome everybody. Let's just talk about it right out of the gate and be right with it. The anniversary show Saturday night, I thought was great. We saw a lot of great matches, especially that match. Brian, I think for the World Tag Team title was absolutely outstanding. A lot of great action on that card, but that match stood out to me. But then Sunday, things came to an abrupt halt. Or was it late Saturday night, Rick Diesel? Let's tell them about the weirdness that occurred.
It was Saturday night after the show. We was all standing there, and all of a sudden, this is my take on it, because this is what happened on my perspective or what I saw. Because all of a sudden, I heard a weird noise come out of the office. It was like somebody yelling. I was like, "What the heck?" So I go over there, and about the time I looked in the window, I seen this big spark fly, and the guy that runs the park jumped back. You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Oh my God." Then I heard somebody go, "Look," and everybody was looking at the top of the building. There was smoke rolling out of the where the wires go into the building. So something had happened. From what I understand, there was a short in a breaker. And when they went to flip the big lights, over the part, the big lights on the poles, when they went to flip them off for the night, it shorted something out, and the breaker box basically caught on fire.
And
So
yeah,
they called 911. Fire department come down. They called the power company, which locally I think was Duke Power.
I'm just gonna say, us ladies, even though it was a terrible thing, really enjoyed watching those firemen coming in.
Fireman come in, called the power company, guy from Duke Power come down and took his pole about 900 feet long and walked over to the transformer and pulled a wire, and the whole shebang shut down. And they said that they had to rewire the box, and it's just old. I mean, that stuff at the park's been there for a long time. It's time for it to be. They've been upgrading a lot of stuff. They've upgraded power in the building that we do shows in. They've upgraded some stuff, roofs and power and stuff like that, and some concession stands. And they've redone the plumbing through the whole thing. So
oh yeah, the plumbing.
they're getting there slowly. It just this crapped out before they got to it. And they said that last I heard, there was a guy come in this past Thursday, and he was looking at it, trying to get everything fixed up, hopefully for next week.
Sorry.
I was going to say,
it's good that it happened now and not like it's there.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Or while people were there, because it could have burned down the whole building if nobody had been there, so.
Right. Yeah. That's one thing that's talking about. If it had happened like in the middle of the night when nobody was there, it could have been really bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to have something like that happen, better when there's a lot of people around that can call for help and somebody that's competent enough to get it stopped.
Well, you also got to keep in mind this was the first event they've had there since November. You know, so everything's kind of been shut down. You know, I'm assuming you know the gremlins has been running through the system. You know, so who knows when you start something back up after 3 months, what's going to happen?
So we missed day 2. That had to be canceled, unfortunately. But those title matches, I'm sure those things, Matt Classic will see that those matches are rectified in some way, shape, form, or fashion at some point as we move forward. May not be in Mount Airy, but certainly a very interesting start to the year. And you mentioned it, Rick Diesel. We're only 6 days away from the first AIWF Mid Atlantic television taping, or internet taping, or whatever you want to call it.
For the network. Network. I like to call them network tapings.
Network tapings. Yeah. And so we're definitely looking forward to that. And that's coming up this Saturday night. We starting at 7 or 7:30? 7. Okay. Cool beans. So 7 p.m. this coming Saturday night. Be with us at the park. And we're going to get started with our regular network tapings. It's going to be a lot of fun. I want to talk a little bit about, you know, like Ty Tyson and Mickey Fulp have big problems now. So that's kind of a revisiting of a feud that we had a few years ago, but the tables have kind of turned. And well, let's just be honest with it. I mean, the video footage hadn't come out, so I want to be careful what I say because I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hadn't heard about it or seen it. But definitely threw a monkey wrench in the world title match. I'll say that Mickey Fulp did.
Yes, he did, and I'm sure that'll be something that'll be addressed Saturday in Mount Airy. Ty was not in a good state after his match. Mickey ruined his shot at getting the world title back. Greg Anthony went back to Tennessee with that belt in his bag. Which upset Ty to begin with because you know he wanted that world title back and then Mickey ruined it for him. So I'm sure that'll be addressed along with
Mickey Fulp's new manager.
Seth Clayton Burns.
Yeah,
Seth Clayton Burns, who is still for some reason, I might say very recklessly, waiving the fact that he beat Caden Pierre here in the Mid Atlantic. And you know, we hadn't seen Caden since then, and he's looking like he's really relishing rubbing salt in the wounds. Because, I mean, I'm sorry, that outfit he was wearing just screamed, you know, a low budget Caden Pierre to me, and I think that's what he's going for.
Timu
Caden Pierre, yeah.
So, but yeah, Seth Clayton Burns is definitely playing with fire. I mean, this video comes out and Caden Pierre sees it, and I don't think he's going to be a happy camper.
No, and I'm sure that'll be addressed Saturday too. I don't think Caden is scheduled to be there. For some reason, Caden has got really popular on the independent circuit here over the last few months, and it's actually hard to get him booked.
Yeah,
you know, and I saw on the internet that him and Joe Harrison were randomly together over the past weekend. So, you know, it's odd that Mickey's now with Seth Burns and now Joe Harrison looks like he's on the same team as Caden Pierre. So that's an interesting combination if you take those 4 men into account.
Yeah, Joe Harrison's definitely a member of the Pink Gang. There's no doubt about that. He's definitely joined up with them. So be sure you join us, fans, this weekend, Saturday, March 16th, 7 p.m. at Veterans Park in Mount Airy as we get things kicked off. Wrestling season's back in gear, man. I mean, I don't know if you heard my comments on my fan cam, the Kevin Phoenix video, but you hear me at the beginning talking about, oh, it's so good to be back. You know, it's just like, because that was the first match of the night, and it was Kevin Phoenix, just so you know, you've got a chance to see it on YouTube. Both the channels have it. Kevin Phoenix won the World Television Championship at the anniversary show, and the place went absolutely bonkers. I mean, that was a very, very popular win. And so I thought it was a great match too between him and Colton.
Yeah. Yeah, and Kevin, now he's been the world cruiserweight title, world heavyweight title, and now world TV title. So he's kind of racking up the world titles, that's for sure.
He sure is. And you know, he has title, he will travel. So he's proven that before. So we'll see how it goes. And best of luck to Kevin in his title runs. Let me run over our social media stuff real quick. And then we're gonna have to do some catching up on some news that happened while we were away. You guys, can you guys see the slideshow?
Yes.
This is just our social media stuff right here, everybody, as I wait TikTok. You can find us at AIWF Mid Atlantic Wrestling on Instagram, Diesel247, DEEZEL 247 on Instagram. If you like to see random violence and stupidity, you can follow me at Mad Matt Concord on X or Twitter. I've got a gem up there of a guy attempting to rob a 7-Eleven that went horribly wrong that I just posted a few minutes ago. He doesn't get shot, but the humiliation that he suffers at the hand of a broom, at the end of a broomstick or a mop handle or whatever it was probably worse than dying. So when that case goes to trial and they show it, oh my God. But anyway,
He whooped that ass.
Yeah, you've seen it.
Yes.
Isn't that great?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Come visit us over on TikTok at AIWF Mid Atlantic and at matt.carter.aiwf. Just be patient with me, guys. I'm pushing 50 years old. TikTok is new to me, but I'm learning. So just bear with me. Here's our scheduled dates for the year. March 16th, that's what we're talking about. And then we kind of go twice a month, except for May and July for the rest of the year, all the way until November. Yeah, this one's going to be iffy, but I'm not even going to say any more about it. I'm just pointing it out.
That was going to be discussed on the 16th.
Wait, what? What am I missing something?
April 6th.
April 6th. Yeah, that's problematic because that's day one of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And also nod, wink, wink, spring Martinsville race weekend. So if that date could be moved, I'd consider it a big favor. Park.
We'll have to figure out how to deal with it because it's not just us, but we have to deal with Park's schedule too.
Oh yeah. And that's why I'm kind of giving the wink to the people at the park. Like, hey, if there's, some kind of souvenir or something I can bring you from down here in Charlotte, up there for your
Couple
trouble.
of hot dogs.
Well, they got plenty of good hot dogs in Mount Airy. They don't need to come all the way here for them.
I'm just saying.
We got some pretty
You like that big hot dog place that's near Concord Mills.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. I hadn't been over to it yet, but those look like some big weenies.
They were big weenies.
Yeah. Big weenies. What's the name of that place? I see the ads for it on social all the time. I know you and Brian have been there. It's right across the street from the mall.
I can't remember.
I call that area Biscuitville Corner because they finally put us a Biscuitville down here. And when they built that, like a bunch of restaurants opened up in that corner. So it's kind of nice. But anyway, enough about fast food restaurants. We've lost a few competitors, wrestling legends here in the last couple of weeks, and we would have talked about it last week, but we were doing the anniversary show, and plus I was having to work a weird shift last week. But let's start off. I don't know who is familiar with Paul Vachon and his line of work. That was kind of before all our times.
Mad Dog.
Oh, Luna Vachon's father?
I think so. Yeah, I'll have to look. Let me get the old Google machine fired up.
Dog is
there was two of them. It was Butcher and Mad Dog. Mad Dog, Paul.
Mad Dog already passed away several years ago. Let's see.
Oh.
Paul Vachon. Let's see. Canadian professional wrestler. Passed away February 29th, 2024. Luna's pop. Butcher Vachon, known as Butcher Vachon. Paul Vachon grew up as one of 13 children of Ferdinand Vachon, a Montreal police officer. Let's see what else. Vachon wrestled under a mask, a spoiler 2 for Jim Crockett Promotions in 1975. How about that? His angle
Learn
involved
something.
getting revenge. Now I'm getting off of this all of Wikipedia, so it could be a
Oh,
bunch of
well.
horse shit, but it's just quickest to get to. Said his angle involved getting revenge on Wahoo McDaniel, Paul Jones, and Rufus R. Freight Train Jones for running Super Destroyer Don Jardine out of the territory. So then it gets into the kind of deep things. Paul Vachon was the adopted father of wrestler Luna Vachon. He is the brother of wrestlers of Maurice and Vivian Vachon, former father-in-law of wrestlers David Gangrel Heath and Tom Nash. In total, Vachon has 6 children and has been married 4 times. I remember when Gangrel came and worked a show for us up in West Virginia, did a coffin match with somebody. And I was very grateful that I did not ask how his wife was doing because I was not aware at the time that she had passed away. So that would have been real uncomfortable. So I'm glad that did not come up.
The first time I met Gangrel was before he went to WWE when he was still doing the Vampire Warrior, and him and Luna. I was with him on some stuff. So
that was pretty cool. Yeah. So nice guy.
oh yeah,
nice guy. Just hell of a nice
every
guy.
time I see him on Facebook, he's on an airplane.
Oh, really? Still
He's a busy man.
But anyway, so Paul Vachon passed away just recently, and then of course there was who we all know as Virgil, but his real name was Mike Jones, and he is best known for his run in WWE. He actually started in Memphis, I believe. And let's see. Yeah, he passed away on February 28th, the day before Vachon. And Michael Charles Jones was his name. I remember his big run in 91. He came into the Federation WWF with Ted DiBiase in 87 as his bodyguard. And they seemed to get along fine and work together as a well-oiled machine until Ted DiBiase in, what was it, late 1990, started making him do like more menial tasks, like cleaning the toe jam between his feet and stuff like that, and basically humiliate him. And then finally at the Royal Rumble, Virgil turned on him. He got his big WrestleMania match with DiBiase, and then eventually went on and won the $1 million title from him at my favorite match of that series at SummerSlam that year, which was incredible because Roddy Piper was so into that, being Virgil's coach, and he was doing commentary, and he was so he was losing his shit during that match. And it has always been one of my favorite things because Piper's just going out of his mind. He's about to rip Bobby Heenan's head off at the beginning of that match. The good stuff.
I only know him from NWO. I wasn't watching WWF back then, so I'm familiar with him with his I guess B roll of NWO, I guess. So, but you know what was good about him is, he really played into like the way people were kind of making fun of him there for a while, like showing his tables, with nobody there. And I feel like he started leaning into that, which, led to some like cult following stuff here in the end.
Oh, how about this? After a chance meeting with Tony Atlas in a Pittsburgh gym, Atlas recommended Jones to pro wrestling in 1985. In the same year, he began training with Alpha of the Wild Samoans. So that's who started training him. That explains why he was able to hang around so long.
Yeah.
Yep. Good. It all starts with the training, doesn't it? Let's see. It talks about his time as Soul Train Jones and CWA Memphis in 1985. He feuded with Chick Donovan and Big Bubba, which I think was a different Big Bubba than we had in Crockett Promotions. It had to be. The timeline doesn't work
85,
out.
yeah. No, had to be a different.
Yeah.
And there ain't but one Chick Donovan with his little face.
Oh my God. Chick Donovan is, I saw him in 2016 when we went to that show, that big time wrestling show in Spartanburg at the Memorial Auditorium, where Jim Cornette and Baby Doll redid the Battle of the Sexes, which was just That's what everybody in that house came to see.
Yeah.
They had a double cage at the end that was great with the Rock and Roll and the Warlord and Barbarian and EC3 against somebody. And there was nothing wrong with those matches. They were great. But man, when that Midnight Express music hit, man, you hear the place like, you can hear everybody take a deep breath, like, here we go. and he was on that show still wrestling in a bright gold robe. I mean, he's older now, so his hair is not as poofy and blonde as it once was.
I was about to say, if Chick Donovan's on that show, was Paul Lee on that show too?
I don't think so.
Amazing.
No, but I will tell you what Paul Lee done at the they had him do at the Cauliflower Alley Club last year. He
What?
sold raffle tickets. He walked around the banquet hall selling raffle tickets.
He might have been on that show. I'll need to look that up because they don't even. I reached out to Big Time Wrestling. They don't have even any more DVD copies of that show. They've sold them all.
Right.
That was a fun night, man. That was why I realized why Crockett Promotions did so many television tapings in that room.
Oh yeah.
The Spartanburg, for those of you who don't know, the Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium upstairs is a traditional like music venue theater, right? Big seats, big stage, great old timey sound. Just when you think of an old, like them old movie theaters, like the big ones that would seat 500 or 600 people, that's what it's like. Downstairs, though, in the basement, is just a big open cement floor with bleachers on both sides of it. And they've had bowling tournaments in there. They've had all different kinds of shows. I think the circus and of course wrestling. And that, I don't know if it is now because they put that padding on the ceiling, in the last 20 years to keep the sound in, to make it louder in there. But even back in the 80s, when you're watching the old NWA shows from there, that place is fucking loud, man. And it's an incredible room.
Loud and jam packed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those are old school bleachers. There's not aisles to walk up in the middle.
Yeah.
You just have to find your spot, and once it gets packed in there, you're in there. You're not getting
like
out.
high school.
Yeah, it's like a high school gym bleachers. Yeah, you're not getting out until it's time to go. I mean, unless you stumble and fall over a bunch of people, it's going to be a struggle to get in and out. So, but a great building.
So what, speaking of Big Time Rest, what happened to them?
I saw
They
them.
went the way of I'm the next big thing and went out of business because they just got over their head.
Well, I saw they running the show up north with a bunch of people on it. No, that's Bobby Fulton.
No, that's Bobby Fulton's. I steal the name from every wrestling organization on the planet's company.
Yeah, Chillicothe, Ohio. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. I think it's not next weekend, but he does.
No, it's this past weekend.
Oh, okay. So they already had it. I know he does that thing once a year and always does well with it.
Well, Bobby's run Ohio since the 90s. Even though he lived down, I think Salisbury, Charlotte, Concord, somewhere down in that area for a while. He still run Ohio all the time, and even back when he was doing the Tough Man contest around here, he still run wrestling Ohio. It's where he's from, and that's how he knows everybody up there.
Yeah, he's living in Chillicothe again now. So
is he?
Yeah, he's been back up there for several years. He was back up there before he had his bout with cancer and beat it. So, yeah, Bobby's a hell of a guy, man. Hell of a promoter, man. That's all I could say about him. He was always nice to me. So, and I went to one of his Tough Man shows one time. You know what? We had a good time, and it was actually cool that I could go to the concession stand and buy a Pepsi directly from him. He said
he used to rent our ring before North Carolina made him go to 4 roads.
Right.
That's why he quit renting my ring. So I think I even was a judge on one of these things one time. I said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. He said, you don't have to. It's okay. You just pick whoever you thought won.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Bobby had a ringer on the show that was going to win anyway.
At least one.
Yeah.
But there's another guy promoting Tough Mans around here now. He's I'm telling you, he talks the talk. He's like, brother this, brother that. I mean, he knows.
Is he a Hogan?
He knows some shit. Yeah, well, he might know Hogan. They're bringing their tough man. I think the Concord this weekend, they just ran in South Carolina. So, I mean, and it's a good show. It's just, he has so many divisions. And when they come up here and pull from the Charlotte, everybody in the Charlotte Metro that thinks they're badass goes up there and signs up for it. And so they do it right. They have different weight divisions. They don't just pile everybody into one tournament, but it takes forever. They start at like 8 o'clock, and you're lucky if you get out of there at 2 a.m. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes a long time, and they do it for 2 nights. So
I think
usually,
Bobby did his for 2 nights, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, he may have.
Friday and Saturday usually is what they do.
Yeah,
I know I got into it one time. I run one show. I did one tough man contest back in the 90s. Got a cease and desist from some company up north because they owned the name Tough Man, believe it or not.
Oh,
That's why I guess the guy that runs down here now calls it the roughest and toughest brawl.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
a company from Milwaukee or somewhere up north, one of the northern states, actually owned the name Tough Man. That's why he couldn't call it a Tough Man contest. So we had to change the name of it.
Crazy. Check
How
this
he
out.
found out about it in the 90s. You know
Well,
what I'm saying? I don't understand where the internet was out there, but
Well, we had the internet in the 90s. You know, it just wasn't as good.
yeah.
Check this out. This is a bottle opener I got, and a friend of mine's. He's having a son. Him and his wife are having a baby, and it's a bottle opener, and it says on here "popping bottles," but it's shaped like a baby bottle. I don't know. If
nice.
Yeah, but it's one of the better party favors I've ever received. So I had to show that. So, LaShawn, Alyssa, good luck. Anyway, so let's see. Ole Anderson passed away. That's one that we are all familiar with.
That one hurt.
Yeah. Ty Tyson told me he saw him at a convention or something one time and said if they wanted to take a picture of the expression bitter old man and put it in a dictionary, all they need to do is snap a picture of Ole Anderson. He said he was the meanest, crabbiest son of a bitch I'd ever seen. And I have not heard from people that have met Ole that description being much far off. Man was a genius when it came to wrestling, but everybody I've met says he was an asshole.
I will stand by what I put on Facebook the day that he passed is when I refer to The Rock, I'm talking about Ole. Yeah, it ain't Dwayne. It was always Ole for me because that's just who I grew up with as The Rock. And I see somebody in our YouTube or in our Facebook chat that can possibly verify the Ole asshole. I see AC in there, and I know he spent enough time around Greg Price at the convention that when Ole would hold court down in the lobby that he could probably confirm or deny that.
Oops.
His real name was Alan
I just
Robert.
realized my mic has been off for God knows how long.
Well, we haven't said anything.
No, we
anyway,
haven't said
so.
anything. Sorry.
As long as I worked with Greg Price, you know, I never went to none of his conventions. Is he getting out of it?
I think he is out
Actually,
of it.
Is he out of it?
I thought so, but that last one
I
they
guess
had
maybe I
down
should have
there,
went with the one before he went out.
yeah, the one before the NWA jerked the name from him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then turned it to
crap.
this Jobber Fest. Somebody's doing a Jobber Fest.
Is that the one that was just in Charlotte at
Yeah.
the Embassy Suites?
Mm.
Or was it the Embassy Suites? Embassy
No,
Suites in that area always has the.
I know it's just in Charlotte. I don't know where it was. It was Hilton.
Yeah, it's a Hilton down in University.
Hilton.
It's about 10 minutes from here. Yeah. If I would have gone in the early 2000s, you know, when Bob Caudle and David Crockett still hosted it, you know, and a lot of the folks that were significant in the NWA had not aged out of conventions or outright passed away, it would have probably been fun. But the last few years, I look at the lineup and I'm like, no, I can skip it.
You know,
They're
how,
all kind of going downhill now, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
because all the legends. I mean, you go to a convention now, and there's legends there. Hell, they might die while you're talking to them.
Yeah.
And then the people that's coming out of the WWE and AEW, the bigger stars they make so much money now they don't have to do it.
Yeah, they get
Right.
those
Legends contracts and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
there's another one too that they have that Kevin Nash is on. It's not a Legends, it's a ambassador contract or something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
And he was saying he didn't want to go to Sting's last match because it might cause some shit with WWE. I mean, nobody had told him not to, but he didn't want to go.
Yeah, and he also kind of said that he felt like maybe if he had gone, then a lot of people would have been focusing on him being there versus it being Sting's last match, which is valid,
Unless he sits in a luxury box somewhere and keeps his mouth shut.
Well, DDP went there. They just didn't show him on TV. That was the rule that WWE had, was like, you can go, but you can't be involved in the match and they can't show you on TV. So, but DDP was there. What was a thrill for me, and maybe I ought to read the first ad. No,
Magnum
and Nikita was great, but let's see here. Hang on a second.
They wheeled Luger in.
Yeah, Luger was there. Well, he was a big part of Sting's career. They were tag team partners or opposition for years and years and years. But let's see here.
Did Flair go?
Yeah, Flair was there. He was actually involved in the match. But I want to
he's part of AEW now, so he wouldn't have had any issue.
Yeah. I started to say if he didn't go, he's an asshole, but I guess he could be there.
Well, he might still be that, but I don't know. I never met him.
Yeah.
I've always heard he was nice, but he's acting a little crazy here in his later years. Let's see here. Let me do some ads real quick. Premier, let me talk about this and then we'll talk about Sting's last match in Greensboro. Premier Auto Detailing, hands down the best car cleaning service in town. You can call them up 336-883-5722. That's 336-883-5722. And they'll be glad to help you out with cleaning up your car. If you're just too lazy to wash your car, you got one that's been up on blocks, you finally got it running and you want to get it jazzed up before you take it out, that's fine. They can also help you with fleet service work. If you own a business, you have a bunch of work trucks that need cleaning up on a regular basis, they can help you with that. You own a used car lot, this might be a godsend for you. You can call them up and see what their prices are. It may be cheaper than actually hiring a new man or a new girl just to watch cars, with all the expenses that go along with that. So reach out to them, 336-883-5722. One more time, that's 336-883-5722. Premier Auto Detailing, serving the Mount Airy and Surry County area. Tees Creations, custom apparel. Oh my goodness, they are social media fireflies. They are all over TikTok, always doing something. Custom made t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies. They got it all, man. They even offer tumblers and those front license plates things that you see right here. Yeah, and you can reach out to them at teescreations22.com. Tees Creations by Allied Apparel on Facebook and on TikTok. Tees Creations. So they are everywhere.
Shopify.
And Shopify. I need to
add
that.
Where they have wrestling t-shirts.
Oh, so they do have the wrestling t-shirts on the
They're
Shopify.
on the Shopify.
Awesome. So look for Tees Creations on Shopify and you can get your AIWF Mid Atlantic Wrestling shirts right there. So
among others, they have different designs on there.
All right. So check them out on Shopify and thank them for their continued support of our program. If you'd like to get involved with this merry band of wrestling enthusiasts, it's cheap, man.
While I'm thinking about it, have you heard anything from the new one we picked up at the anniversary show?
No, and I'm not saying
I haven't either.
But I have a feeling that they're watching this show right now.
Yeah.
So
can't do an ad without ad stuff.
Yep. Can't do an ad without ad stuff. So need pictures, copy, and money, please. Don't mean to be so.
The money's handled.
Oh, the money's handled. Okay, so
money's handled.
Okay, so need pictures and copy, please.
Right.
Or direct me to where I can pull pictures off the internet.
And what to say. Yeah.
And what to say. Yeah.
For people who don't know what copy means.
Yeah, I need a script. I need to know what to say on the commercial, Like Nationwide is on your side. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. That's just slow.
Like a good neighbor. State Farm is there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing,
I'm so sick of that damn commercial.
What is there a new one with somebody that talks like Schwarzenegger?
With Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, I think I saw that once. I only saw it once, so I guess that's good. $10 a month is all it costs, folks. 4 reads. So if we take a week off, it's not going to cost you any, right? 4 reads for $10, like you just heard. You cannot beat those prices. So definitely reach out to us. We'd love to have you on board. And if you need something longer or a video commercial, we can work with you on that too. You see that $30 a month, but we'll be willing to work with you and help you put together a commercial, something to help you out. You know, we've got over 1,000 viewers, subscribers on the Ringside Wrestling channel, probably closer to 4,000 on the AIWF Network. So it's not like your word's not going to be getting out there. So this is mainly for local businesses. If you do taxes on the side, we're right in the middle of tax season, so you're almost too late for that. But if you got any kind of side hustle you'd like to invest a little bit of advertising money in, please reach out to us. And this graphic is still not correct because we're not on Apple and Spotify anymore, but everything else is. That's where you can find us on YouTube at AIWF Network and AIWF Ringside Wrestling. All right. So Sting's final match took place last Sunday in Greensboro. Rick Diesel, I'm pretty sure you didn't order the pay-per-view because, you know, like you've told us before, the mark has been beat completely out of you. I did.
I heard they did him right, although they didn't do him old school. I don't know. I'm torn on that. I kind of, you know, I was always raised that you go out on your back, pass the torch. I'm glad that, but see, on the other hand, I'm glad they done it the way they did. Because it's damn young bucks. They don't deserve nothing. Honestly, leg slapping bastards. They just want started all that crap. But I'm glad they don't have it. But I hate
not start that. That's a lucha libre thing.
Well, they brought it up here.
Yeah.
Nobody cared about it up here till they come around smacking ourselves in the ass. But anyway, I'm glad they did him right. Like I said, I'm kind of on the fence about that. I'm old school, so you know I've always been taught there's a way you go out, but then again, the way they sent him out was appropriate.
Yeah, I think so too. In the grand scheme of things, let me say this. It did my heart good. Part of the reason I wanted to look at that pay-per-view was just to see the Greensboro Coliseum with that many people in it for wrestling. And it was impressive because when you watch, you could see the people all the way to the edges of the stage area with the big screen. You could see that like even some of them were sitting partially behind the big screen, kind of like looking out, like the ones that waited till the last minute. And I'm going to give kudos where it's due. I've never bought an AEW pay-per-view before, and I probably won't again. Not for a while, unless they can entice me with something really good, like Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. I'm joking, guys, if you didn't know. Which will be a nice attraction for Netflix. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if there's going to be any additional cost, but they were telling me last night at that party it's going to be included with all the Netflix subscriptions. So if you're a regular Netflix subscriber, you're getting that fight. Anyway, they had Renee
Paquette.
Renee Moxley.
Yeah, Renee, or as Jim Cornette says, Renee Moxley good. And she had some kind of little boy with her that didn't feel like it was necessary to put on anything more than a t-shirt and a jacket to do the pre-show. Not to say that his broadcasting skills weren't good. I mean, they weren't great, but they weren't bad. He didn't like stink up the show or nothing. But they did a real good job in the pre-show, like standing on the ramp with the crowd in the ring behind them. Really, like the way they were talking about the show and the clock counting down, they really feel big, you know, as you were counting down to the pay-per-view. And then it happened. They did a ringside interview with Tony Schiavone and David Crockett. And David Crockett gave his analysis for the main event the only way he could do it. The way David Crockett. Oh my God, the man has not changed a bit. He may have aged 40 years, but he's still David.
Still a baby face.
I tell you, Tony, you saw what he did with his sons. You saw what they did with his sons. You don't mess with family, Tony. You don't mess with family. And I'm marking the fuck out right there because David's got me in stitches. And I told Jinky, I was like, look, the pay-per-view hadn't even started yet. I feel like I got $10 worth of my 50 right there.
And what I like about David Crockett is he sounds like he's never been smartened up to the business. Like his commentary seems so sincere. And like, it's just to listen to him, he honestly, I mean, yeah, sounds like everything he sees is a surprise. Like, and it's wonderful listening.
David Crockett was the biggest babyface fan in the world, and God love him for it.
And
well, he
it
always
was his business. It was his business.
He always struck me as he reminded me of somebody who snuck out of the crowd and grabbed a mic and was just so excited.
And you know what was funny? The reason he got that gig doing TV was because Trucking Tom Miller showed up to the RAL studios one morning for TV, and he was still drunk. And so they all drew straws, and David drew the short straw to take his place and was on TV from like 1978 until they went out of business because of that.
Well, that and the fact that, as David Finley, he really didn't hack it as a wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
have you ever watched that one match that they've shown on tape of him in the ring?
About a minute and a half of it, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's about like his commentary. You can't look away. You can't not listen. It's a peach.
Yeah, but they didn't show David no more after that, and that was kind of disappointing. But I guess David wanted to just go back in the back and hang out with everybody. So the main show started. And the first match on the show was Christian and Danny Garcia, I think. I was working. I didn't really pay much attention to it. Sorry. The next match I had was an 8-man scramble, so I walked outside to smoke a cigarette because I don't particularly like those kind of matches. What I did see, there was a lot of people diving up over the ropes, out in the crowd, this, that, and the third. All right, cool. Then the worst match of the night, I think, in my opinion, was Bryan Danielson and who was that fucker he wrestled? Eddie Kingston. And I would have never put the words Bryan Danielson match and bad in the same sentence until I saw this. But it was just, they both dedicated the match to some Japanese legendary wrestler, and they worked a Japanese. They worked a weird Japanese. It was like, I saw that match that Kenny Omega had with Chris Jericho several years ago in Japan that everybody was just raving over. And I remember thinking, man, that's rough style, man. That's pretty cool. It's pretty badass. But what they were doing was just, I don't know. Something was really wrong with that. It just looked fake. And I hate to say that. So, I've never said that about a Bryan Danielson match, but it was not good. And then I'm trying to think, they moved on, and I can't really remember, because you kind of you got to remember, I'm trying to do my shoot job with the TV on the side. So, and then the match that just FTR is dead. They had a match with Ambrose and or John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli, who used to be Antonio Cesaro in WWE. And I knew it was going to be fucked up when Moxley and Cesaro walked out wearing these, looked like they were homemade Road Warriors shoulder pads. Remember how the Road Warriors wore the football shoulder pads with the big long spikes on it that would stick out? Right. These
the
look
styrofoam sold from concession shoulder pads.
Yeah, it looked like they had painted some of those black and like put metal spikes on them. Go if you can find the pictures.
I saw the picture of it. They're little. It's like they're really small.
Yeah, and
it looked more like paintball.
There you go.
Things.
There you go.
Well, I don't know what you would call them, but yeah, they look like from paintball.
Yeah, but I remember thinking, oh, I don't like the looks of this, as they were on their way to the ring. And they had a match with FTR that had some exciting points in it, but it's like I really didn't know who was the bad guys and who was the good guys because the Blackpool Combat Club, why they're still called that, I don't know. They busted Cash or Dax open, and they like controlled the match. And every time FTR would get something going, they'd shut them down. And then went into the finish, and it was back and forth, a bunch of near falls. And then they choked both of them out at the same time. They got them in sleeper holds and both choked them out, both FTR in the middle of the ring. And they did that in Greensboro, in their home state. They have beat FTR into powder in AEW. Like, I'm no longer excited to see them. I feel bad for them. The one thing I can say is keep cashing those checks, boys. And hopefully they can get the hell out of there when their contracts are up. And I don't know how long that is, but they have just
where do they go from here?
I don't know. I mean, did they just have a falling out with Vince?
Well, what they
have
did
words with Triple
them
H?
is Vince wanted to put on that remember there at the end, they had that really stupid comedy gimmick.
Mhm.
And from what I had read is that they were like, okay, we're going to do this stupid gimmick for the rest of our contract. But once our contract is out, we're out of here. So I don't know that they burn a bridge because, I mean,
No, I don't think they burned
burn
the
a
bridge.
bridge, but
No.
that was
It's hard to burn a bridge in this
Right.
business anymore.
No, it's they took off and they bet on themselves, really. I guarantee if they wanted to go back, they could go back.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure. And now there's new management in place anyway.
Mhm.
So yeah. So but they're being beat to death. They've lost to the Bucks. They've lost to everybody. They had those good matches last year with the Briscoe
Those
brothers.
Briscoes, yeah.
But nobody saw them because they were on ROH pay-per-views. And how die hard have you got to be to order an ROH pay-per-view? Raise your hand if you ordered one of those pay-per-views from last year where the one of those 3 matches are on there. And do it in the chat too on Facebook because I'm about to prove something.
I ain't gonna lie. If our cable company would have carried them, I would have ordered them.
Yeah,
just because.
but they didn't. But
right.
they didn't. Mm-hmm. And so, it's unfortunate what's happened to that team because they were great. And when they were in WWE, NXT, especially in NXT, man, back around, what was it, 16 or 17 when they were feuding with
Alpha.
Yes. Oh my God, that feud was so awesome.
Them and Alpha Academy and them and DIY were
yes.
Those clinics.
Yes. Oh, incredible. They should show those at the first day of wrestling school anywhere.
You could show anything KC did when he was working North Carolina Indies as far as wrestling school.
Yeah. And so just to be clear, so people that don't know, KC McKnight was Dak's name when he was in the Indies, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He run the Carolinas.
Yeah. And so then after that, they had Will Ospreay and Cornette calls him Take a Shit because of the way his name's spelled, but it's actually Takeshita. And that match was like Japanese strong style, like I had seen before. So I was familiar with what they were doing, but it was like more of a contest of let's see who can catch a spinal injury first. Because they were doing a lot of those moves that they did on the Japanese old NES video games where you just pick a guy up and drop him right on his head and neck. And I'm just sitting there like, but the impact and the way they were flipping and flying when they took those clotheslines, it was spectacular, but it looked really scary, dangerous.
Will Ospreay is amazing.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen him wrestle. So, but I'm sitting there like eyes agape, like what the fuck? I mean, and I'm glad I taped it, I DVR'd it because I want to go back and watch that match again.
Yeah.
So it was just, it's just me. The older I get, the more I worry about people getting hurt, and that kind of stuff bothers me. But if these kids, they want to do that shit, more power to them. I mean, but they didn't do anything dangerous, like Darby Allin did in the main event. So they did a real nice piece on Sting. He came out to what's that Metallica song? Seek and Destroy, which was pretty cool. And they had it was a furniture match. It was, garbage hardcore match. I mean, and I say that because there's literally garbage cans in the ring. There was every type of weapon you could think of, aside from a weed eater or a chainsaw. And I understand that, like with Sting being 64 years old, he's not going to get in there and have a technical masterpiece. He wouldn't do that even 20 years ago. That wasn't his style. Sting was more of a fighter. I mean, he could do wrestling holds, but I mean, most of the time Sting is just like, you make him mad, he goes, and fights on. So it was cool. Flair and Steamboat were there. They got involved in the match. But Darby Allin, I know you've all seen the clip where he jumps off the ladder and goes through the glass and it goes flying into the crowd. There's like people been hit. There's rumors on Twitter of lawsuits forthcoming because people reached out to AEW like, hey, caught a little glass, and they're like, well, that's too bad. It got blown off basically, which I don't think is good. Especially if they got treated by first aid while they were there. Now, if they,
I think the one in the corner was worse than the ladder dive.
I agree.
Because you can see the kid there at that corner of the rail, having to turn to keep from eating half of that pain.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That didn't look as bad on TV as it did on Twitter from the guy who actually shot it in the second row.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like he had just, like it was snowing around him, like he was driving in snow. The glass just, how it looks when you're driving in snow and the snow's just coming at you. Imagine that being glass just coming at your face. What's funny, they put on Twitter at the beginning of the show, somebody took a picture of a sign they had said, if you're sitting in the ringside area, be aware of competitors and objects flying and stay aware at all times. AEW will not be responsible for any accidents or something like that. It's like, well, you can't just put up a sign and relieve yourself of liability.
No.
Can I put a sign on the back bumper of my car that says I'm okay to drive drunk and then get in the car after I've had a few cocktails and drive around town and the cops can't pull me over? I mean,
by their logic,
it's like those signs with the trucks with the gravel that say 400 feet or they're not liable. That's just not true.
No,
they just put the sign up there, but if a gravel comes out and breaks your windshield, they are liable.
Yeah.
They put it up hoping you believe it.
So that's a good example, Brian. Thank you. Of just people writing bullshits on signs and thinking that covers them.
Right. But, and my thing, if you want to, I mean, I've used glass, have gone through glass several times, but it was in the middle of the ring.
And
I'm
going to say, did you do it within
that's my issue. If you want to endanger yourself by going through glass, that's fine. I've done it myself, but it's when you do it to where the glass goes projectile out into the audience is where I had the issue.
Yeah, but I don't remember you jumping off like an extraordinarily, like I think somebody just slammed you through the glass door. Is that right?
Yeah, backdrop.
Right.
So the containment of the explosion was pretty much downward and in the same area, right?
Right.
What made this bad was the Darby Allin thing was, again, within 5 feet of fans on both sides. They put the pane of glass on 4 chairs, and he just did a front flip down onto the glass, hit it square. I will give him that. He did not miss. He hit it square and landed on the chairs, and the glass just goes and just flies up.
Yeah, we've already established that I did not watch the pay-per-view. So, and I have seen the clip, but what was the setup to that move? I mean, was there supposed to be somebody laying on the pane of glass?
Yeah,
he was staggered in front of it.
Yeah, there was no chance.
It was the
How
stumble
do you set that
spot
up without looking like a complete idiot?
You didn't.
You
They
don't.
looked like a complete idiot, and it looked fake, and it looked phony. And I'm sorry, a lot of people thinking, "Oh, you're just saying what Cornette did." No, I enjoyed the match, but that was just jumping through glass in a dangerous manner for the hell of it. And see, it wasn't the glass between two chairs, so it would go. So, like Brian was talking about, he got backdrop through glass, and it went down, right? But this glass was set on 4 steel chairs. So there was nowhere for the glass to go down. So when Darby landed on the chairs, all 4 of those chairs, the glass just went, it was like a spring, and it just went whoop, and it shattered, and it just flies in every direction.
Probably
So-
safety glass, so it went out
It
in little
was.
chunks too.
It was. It was safety glass, and it looked like a shotgun.
Yeah.
But you
Oh.
have to use safety glass so you don't impale yourself.
Yes.
But
As,
Darby
as
was
I saw,
still cut
as I
up.
saw that one sitting right beside you almost do one time in Elkin, Reagan.
No. and
I,
like
I'll be honest. That match, the tag match, me and Flop against Brian, and I can't remember who he was teaming with, but went through the glass at the end of the match, and there was a shard this big laying right beside him that I'm looking at from ringside, going, "Oh God."
oh, I remember that but for some reason that wasn't safety glass, right?
No, I
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
somebody screwed up that night. I think we had talked about getting safety glass in, and somebody screwed up and brought the wrong stuff.
Don Carson probably took it off of a trailer back in the trailer yard that was not being sold.
Probably. The other dangerous move, as Stephen Hayes alluded to, was Sting actually went through some glass that was set up in the corner of the ring, and it flew into ringside. And I think
Mhm.
that one was actually worse when you see the clip on Twitter of that going through, into the crowd like that. It was like driving through snow. And I just, yeah, I really hope nobody got hurt. The end of the match, they did a bunch of false finishes. Sting finally hooked the Scorpion Death Drop, bam, 1, 2, 3. It was all over. And he was going to give a retirement speech, but they ran out of time. And so it went to black at midnight, and you had to watch it on Twitter about 20 minutes later. So, and people been teasing AEW for weeks about not being able to time shows. Well, they fucked up and didn't time a 4-hour pay-per-view right either, because they ran out of satellite time at midnight.
Wait, that pay-per-view was 4 hours?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yeah. I started watching about 7:15 during the pre-show, and it did not end till midnight.
I guess that's how long pay-per-views are, but I don't know.
WWE usually keeps theirs to around 3.5 anymore. So unless it's WrestleMania, and then they do 4 hours each night or 5 hours each night, whatever it is.
So tell me why is AEW doing this dangerous stuff? I seen a thing where Al Snow made a comment that somebody's going to die in an AEW ring.
Well, I've said it before. We've said it on this show before.
With the talent they have, why are they having to do this over the top stuff? I mean, they shouldn't have to. Are they that desperate?
I think they're that desperate to try to top WWE, and they think that's how they're going to do it.
No.
But it's not.
No.
That kind of wrestling, that is niche. It's not for everybody. It's not, you're not going to go mainstream with glass and barbed wire.
Yeah.
No, you're going to do that in
It's
front of
coming
50 people in a.
Glass and barbed wire guy. I mean, you're not going
Yeah.
to get on. I mean, it's not going to get you into the mainstream.
Yeah, and McDonald's is certainly not going to want to advertise this month's Happy Meal on a show like that.
Right.
But it's reminiscent of older guys who are now embracing hardcore wrestling.
Easy.
And because it is a niche, but I agree completely. But right now, some of these older guys think
Easy.
that's what I need to do is to get over now. And unfortunately, I'm glad Sting was fine, but I mean, obviously, the thing about hardcore wrestling is the safety. I mean, this sounds insane. It sounds insane what I'm getting ready to say. When you're doing that kind of stuff, you have to take safety of yourself and the crowd into account. Brian did some crazy stuff, some of it not so good, but I mean, it was done in the safest manner you could do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Y'all never had a flaming towel come off a chair flying out into the crowd.
No.
No.
Anything that Brian did back in the day, back in the 90s, the person that was in the most risk of any kind of injury was Brian.
Right.
Made sure of that.
Yeah.
And he also made sure that he had as much control over it as he could possibly have.
Right. And the thing is too, at the time, that was that was really popular. It was even, WWE wasn't doing it to that extent, but even they had a hardcore championship and the Hell in the Cell stuff with Mick Foley. So hardcore was as close to mainstream as it was going to get back then. And then the thing is, later on in the 2000s, hardcore started dying down. Nobody wanted to see it anymore. So I stopped doing it. I
Yeah.
just started doing regular matches again because nobody wanted to see it. I mean, that's my thing. I grew up watching NWA. I mean, I love wrestling. You know, my favorite wrestlers were the wrestling wrestlers. But as far as Brian Danzig, at that time when people came to watch me, that's what they wanted to see. So that's what I was going to give them.
Yeah.
But when they stopped wanting to see it, I wasn't like, no, I don't care what you want to see. This is what I want to do.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, I'll just do regular wrestling. I prefer that anyway.
It was
Brian is the reverse Terry Funk.
Yes.
Is what it is. He's the reverse Terry Funk.
And it's like, you know, it I don't know. It's like they think I don't know which one it is. So you'll have to help me, Steve. Like the Japanese organization that has the most like hardcore type stuff.
FMW.
FMW. And it makes me feel like they're trying to be that in America.
Yes.
Thank you. I couldn't remember what the name of those.
Yeah, there is definitely an Onita fan in Tony's ear back there going, let's have the exploding ring. I'm waiting on the nets of barbed wire. I really am.
I'm waiting on the electric chair match. Like,
please
even though that was America, but just dumb shit. Just
only
more
if they
dumb
book
shit.
Abdullah.
I can't place who it was, Brian, but somebody around 09 or 2010 that I worked with in my shoot job in Martinsville had asked if I was still doing wrestling. And I was like, yeah, we got a show tonight, as a matter of fact. And it's like, I can't remember if it was in Mount Airy or Elkin, where it was. And it's like, well, any of the old guys still there from the 90s? I was like, well, Brian's still there. And you wrestled a regular match that night. And the last time he had seen us was the 90s. And he walked up to me after your match. It was like, man, why did Brian stop doing the hardcore stuff? And you had been stopped for so long by then. I didn't think to tell him he's not doing that hardcore shit anymore.
Right.
But I was just like, it hit me. I was like, oh man, he hadn't done that shit in a couple of years. I think the last time I saw him do one of those matches.
I think
he was so disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think like we kind of like if we did have something, we use like tables or doors. Like that was what, but that's kind of what people had moved on to. They wanted to just see somebody go through a table.
Right.
Like that's what they wanted, or they just want to see somebody go through a door. So it's, it kind of evolved from that insane stuff to kind of a like subtle nuance of hardcore.
Well, it's like it got heightened, but then it got brought. It's like, okay, you're taking a little too high. Okay, bring it back down. Here's where we like it.
Well, they're still putting people through tables on WWE to this day. Those announce tables get smashed every other week, and
which is exciting, well, not the table going down, but going through a regular table.
What's
it's
great
sad
about
that
it?
A table's become a cheap pop now.
Oh, yeah, but see, what's funny now in WWE, especially since Vince has been gone, the announce tables don't break every time.
No.
Sometimes you power bomb a motherfucker and he just bounces uncomfortably to the floor.
Didn't that just happen on the Unforgiven pay-per-view? Not Unforgiven. Good Lord, what's wrong with my
the Australia pay-per-view?
Australian one.
Yeah, elimination
table being the biggest heel in the match.
Yeah, it's funny.
And I even like the NWA, like they do some hardcore stuff, but it's only like one match. And even though we were known in the 90s as being really hardcore, I mean, when you go back and actually look at the shows, you had a whole show of wrestling from those who could wrestle. And and then maybe you would have one match that was a big hardcore match,
Mhm.
or you know, stuff like that. So the whole show wasn't just blood and guts the whole time,
Exactly.
because that's too intense.
I think
That's just too much to do all, you know, for 3-4 hours.
I've heard Tony Khan talk about his dad taking him to the old ECW arena in Philly when he was a kid. So maybe it's part of Tony Khan wanting to have the image and, you know, the rock and roll metal type, you know, grungy image that ECW had. He wants to be that in the modern time, and it
Right.
just doesn't fit.
No.
Because one time you were talking to me, Brian, you were like, yeah, that ECW stuff just doesn't hold up for me anymore. And I thought, And I remember about a month later trying to watch a show from 94, just ran one of the big shows from the ECW arena. And like the first match came out, wild brawl all over the floor, all over the building. Second match, wild brawl all over the floor, all over the building. Third match, lucha libre, nice change of pace. Fourth match, wild brawl all over the floor. And I was just like, okay, I see what Brian was talking about now.
And
I
that-
hate to
because
use I hate
I
to
was-
use the terminology, but ECW basically was following a shooting with a stabbing.
You're not the first person that said that. I've heard that before.
No,
too.
but I mean, after a while, I was into it at the time. Like you said, 94 through 98 religious. Go back and watch it now, going, I'm not sure what I saw in it.
And there are always, like you said, there are standout matches in all those pay-per-views. I will
Mhm.
watch, and I will watch them sometimes, but it's like, oh, Lance Storm, okay, gonna watch
Yep.
this match.
Mhm.
You know, and then, you know, there were guys like that. I would stop and watch their match, but then there were you know, it was like, oh, here comes New Jack. Okay, skip.
Oh.
You know, it's just, I mean,
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
look.
exciting at the time. At the
Yeah.
time,
It was
exciting.
new. It was
But
something
yeah,
new.
It was
but
fresh.
now it doesn't hold up.
Mhm.
But Lance Storm's matches, Chris Jericho's
yeah.
matches,
Eddie Guerrero.
yeah, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, all those young guys who were wrestling, their matches stand the test of time. You know,
Mhm.
super crazy.
Tajiri, yeah.
Yeah, Tajiri, those
Nunzio.
matches, I could watch those guys wrestle all day.
Oh yeah.
But
Now, if
here-
Balls Mahoney comes on my screen, I'm hitting fast forward real fast these days.
Oh, I still say though that Tajiri is responsible for one of the most racist and hilarious calls in wrestling history on an ECW pay-per-view in 98 or 99. Don Callis was working with Joey Styles, and like Joey Styles is like, look at the crazed look on Tajiri. He's liable to do anything. And Don Callis goes, that's right, Joey. These foreigners are diabolical.
Oh Lord, have
And-
mercy.
And Joey Styles, not missing a beat, goes, kind of painting with a broad brush, aren't you there?
At least he didn't say he Pearl Harbored him.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, we just saw Tajiri, and he still can go. Like
Oh,
God,
yeah.
he's one. And that's the thing, is like, you know, ECW there, I guess towards the end kind of did lean in more to chaos. But you know, they for a long time, that, and y'all, I missed it because I was fussing at my mother and child.
I figured
But,
somebody was going to get an ass whipping when you got up.
yeah,
It looked like that kind of walk.
like they had such good wrestlers. I know you were talking about Eddie Guerrero, but yeah, I missed the whole conversation. I'm repeating it. Sorry. But I'm just saying, like, I've said this before. I like a combination. I like
Mhm.
hardcore. I like some chain wrestling, as long as it's not too much. You know, I like, you know, very traditional wrestling. I like high flying. I like lucha. You know, I like a variety of wrestling, and I don't like it when an organization now leans into one so hard.
And
Reagan wants the circus.
Speaking of ECW and being able to combine everything, the absolute best at that, and why he was their biggest superstar, Rob Van Dam.
Mhm.
He could
Yeah.
wrestle, he could do high flying, he could do hardcore.
Mhm.
He could do everything that
He's like the biggest star to come out of there too, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Anybody-
yes, he
He
was.
was their
Any
guy.
bigger? I don't
And
think
there
so.
was a reason, because he did everything that was great about ECW, he did it the absolute best, and he could talk.
Well, the Dudley
Mhm.
boys, let's not run short on them. They
Oh,
won a lot
yeah,
of major
yeah.
titles in WWE, and Bubba Ray's got a successful radio show now. So,
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of guys who are really good who came out of there, but
Yeah.
for me, I think my favorite was Rob Van Dam. I thought he did it the best of anybody in ECW.
yeah. So I
Yes.
think it's a combination of that, Tony Khan wanting to like be the modern ECW, because he said some things. If you go back and watch the press conference, he was talking about Sting took more chances while he was with us than I think he did. And we, encourage people in AEW, if they want to take chances, to take chances. So that kind of makes me believe that if you go up to Tony Khan, and say, "Hey, I got a pane of glass I brought with me. I'd like to jump through it tonight." Hey, sure, go ahead, put it in the match.
Hey,
Yeah.
when is Tony Khan gonna do crowd brings the weapons match?
Oh, right after he watches this show.
I mean, it's
he couldn't
serious.
do it though, because you couldn't get through Greensboro Coliseum security.
They'll have to do it like a drug deal outside,
Yeah.
outside of the arena.
Oh yeah, they have a designated dumpster for you to throw everything, and then a truck comes and gets it and takes it inside the building. Before the show.
We might have
Yeah.
come up. We need to sell this to Tony Khan.
But I think you've really hit on something with Tony Khan. It's like he wants to be the punk rock show. You can't be the punk rock show in the arena. It's like Henry Rollins said, once you sell a gold record, you're not a punk band anymore. You're mainstream.
Yeah,
You
he's
can't have it
right.
both ways. You can either be the underground hardcore group that fills the smaller places and does their thing, or you can be mainstream. You could be mainstream and compete against WWE. You can't be both.
Yeah. Man,
Hey,
Bart, I think you
Here's
got it,
here's
Bart.
a crazy thought for Tony Khan. Why don't you just try telling compelling stories and having good wrestling?
And that's
He can't do it. He can't do it.
Ooh.
And
Well,
that's-
didn't he just hire a new writer though?
He
Make
did.
it
One of
easy?
WWE's former writers, but
was also
is he gonna give her any? Is he gonna give her any leeway, or is he just gonna
Well, we'll see.
smother her with all his?
I mean-
oh, I don't like that. I want to do it this way.
the combination of soap opera writer and wrestling writer would make fantastic television.
If
And-
he'll let her do her thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
we'll just
thing.
have to see. I mean, he's hired her, so that's the first step. Now if he'll let her do what she's supposed to do.
And that's one of the reasons, kind of talking about an organization that was around in the last 10 years that I really enjoyed. Brian, help me. The
Lucha Underground.
Lucha Underground.
Mm.
Like they did all these really very cool vignettes and then they would have matches, and it was a really odd, like completely different than what most people know as wrestling, but it was so compelling because they had these really cool, awesome stories that some of them were even way out there.
Yeah, they're like almost like supernatural elements,
Mhm.
but then the wrestling was just pure wrestling.
Mhm.
Like they would have a wrestling match, and then show these off the wall
Mm.
vignettes in between.
And it was so fun to watch something
Mhm.
that was so different than the norm. It would just, and the thing about it, AEW has a lot of the wrestlers that were on those shows. That's where Pentagon Jr. Came to be known in America. Ray Phoenix, this is where he came from. Sammy
Guevara.
Guevara.
was on like
Mr.
the last
Suspension.
season of that.
Yeah.
A lot of Pitaya Valkyrie. John Morrison was on. I keep calling him John Morrison. Johnny
We know who he
P
is.
or whatever he
Johnny
calls
pick a
himself now.
last name.
So like, and they had Paul London, and they had all these really good wrestlers that could tell these really good stories. And Lucha Underground lasted a lot. The only reason they went under is somebody screwed with the money and didn't pay them, and then it just went away.
No.
Like,
I thought it
really
was best
fell
because
apart.
they had such a horrible network.
Well,
The
Probably-
Ray network. I feel like if they'd had a better coverage, they
Yeah.
could have went farther.
but I don't. Yeah,
Probably
maybe. But I
helped.
don't think they could have been on another channel. I don't, because Robert Rodriguez was the executive producer. Who does
Zombie movies.
yeah, he does some and then like Desperado, and and
Yeah.
stuff. So he came from that lens, and it was a very interesting thing to watch. But really, whoever was, I don't know who the actual booker was or what is, but like they just screwed them over. Like they said, "Oh, here comes season 4," and then just nothing.
And for you kids out there, Desperado was a Western type movie that came out in 1996, starring Antonio Banderas and a very young Salma Hayek. And if you want to see her naked, that is the movie to do it. Okay.
And also,
just a tip for the
Thanks
kids.
for that information.
that's the music that girl from the WWE uses. Remember, I said that last time.
Yeah, it's very similar.
What is, no, it is not similar. It is the song.
It is the song.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah. So just bringing it all together.
Yeah. So,
But I just love wrestling, and if you would just lean in to, first of all, your scope, how big can you be, and just accept it. Accept that you're going to run in smaller arenas. I mean, you see that happening now with NWA and OVW. They're wrestling.
OVW wrestles in a warehouse next to a garage.
I know, but I just watched
We're branching out though.
I just watched OVW Rise. It was on YouTube, and like they've got so many more, fans now than they did. They've really leaned in that Netflix, so they need to run on that money for as long as they can, because that show sucked that I watched.
That's what Brian was saying about punk rock. It's you're either running Ziggy's or you're running Lawrence Joel.
Yeah, and and just lean into that and make the product that you can make. I mean, I'm not saying Tony Khan's should just run in a ballroom. I'm saying, like, get a
Run the
smaller
annex in
arena.
Winston-Salem Coliseum. Run 3, 4, 5,000 seat arenas.
Yeah, because to me, if you're only going to draw, and look at WrestleTix on Twitter, you can watch the attendance numbers. They draw between 2,500 and 5,000 people per TV taping, but it averages really around 3,000 to 3,500. So instead of renting a big basketball arena with 20,000 seats in and having just everybody down around the ring, rent an arena that will fill up. That's your hardcore fans. They're going to be going nuts. It's going to be loud. It's going to sound and look great because the place is going to be full and they're going to be going nuts.
I said it last time. I mean, you can tour and do your house shows, film your TV at Daly's place. They've got their home base, they've got their built-in crowd there, and they're always decent. Film your TV at Daly's and then tour with your pay-per-views.
Yeah, or let them in free at Daly's, and that way it's packed.
Do you think it might be the possibility that they've got all of these wrestlers in there that's used to working in WWE in these major arenas, and maybe they're afraid that if they downsize, that maybe these guys will be like, this place ain't the place to be no more.
It could be, but would you rather wrestle in a big arena that's empty or in a small arena that's full of enthusiastic fans going crazy?
Who's to say with wrestlers' egos anymore?
I'm not going to say wrestlers are not saying this is a bad thing toward Tony either, because I don't know the man, but you think his ego alone's going, I need a bigger building? You're going flaccid there, Diesel.
Could be.
Yeah. Well, it's like, how many times have we said he's a money mark? He's a money mark. It's just
he is.
Those guys that get whatever weird funding they get, or whatever tax return or settlement or whatever. Like maybe you get your disability check and you got that big back money. And you're like, I'm going to wrestle. I'm going to get just all these weird things that people do. And you get money and you're like, I'm going to run a wrestling organization because I'm a fan.
Oh, no, where'd Matt go?
Matt hung up on me.
Oh Lord, we lose Matt, we lose everything.
and you see that with him, and like, I say this, I don't watch. I mean, I don't watch at all because, well, first of all, I don't have cable in my bedroom.
That's a Spectrum out.
I know you just told me about it though. You just told me about it. And it's just like he has some wrestlers that I absolutely love. And,
That might change if you saw what they're doing in AEW. I'm just saying it might not. But
That's not their fault.
What do you mean it ain't their fault? They're in there.
No. It's not those workers' fault.
Oh, well, I mean,
and no, it's Tony Khan's fault. And you just, it's, I don't know.
Jericho has kind of gone to shit.
I don't know whose egos Tony Khan is stroking because he is the worst kind of money mark. He's the money mark that wants to be part of the show.
And he was. After it went off the air, Sting called him down to the ring, and he got in the ring, and he was so excited. He was, thank you, great bar. Yeah, Sting is the best. I mean, he was like a 14-year-old.
That's the worst kind of money marks, is the ones who want to be a part of the show. Ones who want to come out and get in the ring and look at me. You're here because of me. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I think that's
what hurts Tony Khan, because there's a lot of old school guys out there. They don't want, they'll kiss up to him and they'll say, oh, you're the greatest. But when they're sitting at home by themselves, they're like, this idiot comes out there, interjects himself into the show, and he's making everybody look like a joke. Yeah. They're saying that.
Oh, yeah.
No matter how much they kiss his ass to his face, they're talking pure shit about him behind his back.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in this business long enough to know how it works.
Yeah.
As so goes the wrestling business.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
They only love you till you're not using them anymore.
Yeah. And so
I still love you, Diesel.
A closing comment.
I used you till you couldn't go, buddy.
That's it.
Used him right on up.
We rolled the wheels right off this one.
Yes, we did.
But one last thing I'd like to say before I read the next ads, and we can talk about something else or get out of here. They did a lot of crowd shots, as of course they should, because this was the only time. This is probably going to be the biggest domestic house they draw this year. And Greensboro Coliseum, full of wrestling fans, is a sight to behold. It always has been. But I didn't see the typical AEW neckbeard crowd that is so fun to troll on Twitter.
You saw a Crockett crowd.
I saw a Crockett, a WWE crowd. I saw parents with children. I saw young 20-something boyfriend and girlfriend dressed up like Sting, and not both couple of plus 400 pounders. I'm talking about healthy, normal looking kids that obviously did more than spend time in the basement watching wrestling and playing video games. You know what I mean? The type of people that have normal lives, that, they're not obsessed with wrestling. They do other stuff. They have other interests. They go on dates. They go shopping.
Not us. Not us. Not us, right?
I still go on dates, even though I'm married.
I won't tell your wife.
No, I'd go on dates with her. I wouldn't bother saying the words if I wasn't going to stick to it. But no, it's like people that have normal lives. It was filled with a very WWE like audience, every age range, No, I don't want to bring the racial element into it, but a WWE crowd is normally very racially diverse, even here in the South. AEW, not so much. That's the main giveaway that it's not as mainstream to me.
Right.
It was still mostly white people. I didn't go through the crowd with a fine-tooth comb. I can only judge by what I was seeing on my TV. But so anyway, but it looked like a lot of normal people there, and not just the crowd that you see. And I thought that all night until Sting had the microphone at the end, and they showed a guy that looked to be about 35 years old with a beard, a neck beard, and he was crying. And he made his way around the internet Monday. Nobody's bothered to track this guy down. For his sake, I hope the internet never finds out who you are or where you live. Because
or I hope they do find out who he is and he gets on Cameo and makes some money for a while.
Hey, that would be cool. Yeah, if he could turn it into a
leans
positive.
into that. It's still real to me, damn it.
Yeah, the guy, who still goes to conventions.
Yeah, we saw him at WrestleCade. I walked by him. I'm like, hey, is that the "it's still real to me, damn it" guy? And he had his shirt on. It says it was still real to me, damn it. So lean into that weird stuff.
I was about to say, if it was him, was he about 10 feet away from Tony Hunter?
I don't know. I don't know who that is. But yeah. So anyway, that's my thoughts about it. And good luck. I mean, we say again, nobody on this panel wants AEW to go out of business because it's more
No.
place. It's another place that guys can work and draw a good paycheck. You know, the other match was Adam Page, Samoa Joe, and Swerve Strickland for the title. And it was fine for a 3-way match. I just wish it would have been.
Evidently not. You forgot about it.
Well, it was fine. I said it was fine. I didn't say it was good. It would have been better if it was Samoa Joe one-on-one with Adam or Samoa Joe one-on-one with Swerve. You know, the 3-way element kind of fucked it up a little bit for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, here, let me do these ads real quick. And if y'all got anything else, we think about it while I do them, and then we can talk about it. Because we're over an hour and a half at this point. And I'm tired. So let's see. You laugh now, kids, but you'll understand my pain one of these days. 20 years.
You'll learn.
You'll I believe the adults when they told me when I was a kid that, but anyway, here is something
That was so ironic, Matt.
What?
That call that I just got that had to run off camera was somebody wanting to know about ferns.
Well, we're going to talk about them. The greenhouses that Branch Management have got it. Look, y'all, that groundhog was right. Spring is here pretty much. I mean, it's still, we have some cold snaps and everything. It'll get cold at night sometime, but I mean, let's face it. Springtime is here. It's time to start gathering up these plants and everything. Unless you're in Burke County tonight, you can leave them out now pretty much. I mean, because it only gets down to like 40s or 50s. So unless it's a tropical plant, it's probably going to be fine. But Branch Management is your one-stop shop for all your gardening and handyman and landscaping needs. Yeah, general contracting, gutter cleaning, 336-648-2487. That's 336-648-2487. So time to start decorating for spring, everybody. I mean, it's crazy. It just seems like we were at the holidays like 2 weeks ago, honestly. Where does time go, man? But it's time for springtime. I mean, hey, NASCAR started up, so you know that's signaling warm weather. And
I already caught one cheating.
Yeah, but
What I see.
they caught a couple. Yeah, but so 336-648-2487. I don't know that if the results of today's race or what you're talking about, Rick Diesel. I got DVR. I'll watch it after we get done here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so 336-648-2487. And of course, our most delicious sponsor, Tees Treats, great pizza, delicious dogs, and decadent desserts. They got many
Frosted nuts.
They got the John Holmes corn dog.
Yes.
Which got a tremendous reaction from the older fans at Mount Airy when I did the pitch for that thing. The kids kind of just stared at me like this.
No clue.
But the adults, anybody that was 30 or over or 40 or over, really loved that joke. So
yeah, but you see what I was talking about now that you've met them in person.
Yes.
Corn dogs.
Yes, they're tremendous. You're definitely getting your money's worth there, folks. I mean, if you come to the show hungry, you get one of them old John, and that's not really called a John Holmes corn dog. We just call it that to kind of give you an idea how big it is. But and so just Trista will show you one, you know, and yeah, you'll definitely bed down that hunger with one of those. But all the food's good at Tees Treats, and they'll be at the show on this coming Saturday night. Do they have any plans to be anywhere else, Rick Diesel?
Have not heard yet.
Okay, so keep your
the weather's so weird right now.
Yeah, I know it's the in between. You know, it's the in between before it's cool or warm. All right, so we covered AEW, we covered the deaths in wrestling, we covered our big show coming up this Saturday night. What else in wrestling has got your attention that you'd like to mention? Stephen Hayes, I'll start with you.
The main event for night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania.
All right, tell us your thoughts.
Honestly, I'm kind of leaning from what I'm seeing online that Seth turns on Cody on night 1 and Rock turns on Roman on night 2.
Yeah, I don't understand why Seth's really wanting to work with Cody. Cody beat him 3 times, and once with a destroyed what that muscle was, the pec got ripped off.
Somebody had pointed out that in Cody's comeback, Seth had made the statement that as long as he's there, Cody will never be a world champion.
Oh,
and somewhere to me is what we were watching old Ole stuff it's almost the Dusty promo on Ole of it'll never be over.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of where I'm going with that. And I was rather happy that they did get the retaliatory slap heard around the world.
Yes, I was glad of that too. Yeah, that was
It's like,
awesome.
okay, at least he got the rebuttal there. So
Yep. And that was a pretty sweet moment. And notice how on SmackDown, you know, when the Rock and Roman show up now, they have their last match is sponsored by Credit One. And see, Credit One does the same thing in NASCAR. They sponsor the last lap.
Yeah.
So they have the Credit One last match. Well, they'll have the Credit One last match at 20 minutes after 9 and go to break after it's over with, go to break at 9:30. And so then Roman and Rock come out there and just not doing anything but old school working the crowd, hold them until the end of the TV. And it was great.
After that new Tron entrance, I'm literally surprised Rock didn't show up wearing the Black Adam outfit with that lightning bolt.
If he would have done that, the internet would have exploded.
Oh yeah. Who meta?
Well, anyway, we'll see what happens come WrestleMania. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. I don't know what's going to happen. I think that somehow Cody and Rollins will lose on night 1, so you'll have the chaotic rules on night 2. But here's the thing: what do I want more, to see Cody as world champion or Roman break Hogan's record? I'm kind of leaning to Roman, because Roman's Sika's boy. He's Sika's son, and Sika was one of my favorites when I was a kid, because when he wrestled Jake the Snake Roberts, he wasn't scared of Damien. He wanted to eat him. Right. He wanted to cover a hoagie roll in mustard and eat Damien. And I love that.
I would prefer Roman taking Hogan's deal, but I swear if Cody doesn't win this after 2 years, it's dead.
He's gonna. It's the end of his run, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
it'll be dead. So, 6 of one, half a dozen of another at this point.
Yeah. All right. Any opinions on Cody Rhodes and what y'all want to have happen, see happen, or do you even give a shit?
I don't give a shit.
Okay. I feel like it. I feel exactly like what Steve says. That's exactly what's going to happen.
So you're picking Cody to win.
Yeah, and I feel like because Rock's going to turn, it's very obvious to me, but maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, Triple H is diabolical when it comes to booking.
They're making it so obvious that
we do have the possibility Cody does win, but Priest cashes in.
Yeah. Oh,
immediately.
Man. Yeah, and you could drag it out to SummerSlam or even longer if you wanted to. Oh my God.
You want it, but we're taking it back.
Well, remember they held off on Daniel Bryan for so long, and then when he finally won it at WrestleMania, everybody just loved it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But all right, Rick Diesel, what's going on in wrestling that you want to comment on before we get out of here?
I'm interested to see how things go with the AIWF Mid Atlantic title, Justin Flash and Corey Edsel.
Yes,
I know that's not WrestleMania at all.
No. But we didn't say it had to be national promotion.
But that interests me because Corey took the belt and has basically had it, I guess, in a closet for 4 months. Yeah, and Justin Flash is still recognized as the champion, but he's a beltless champion. So where do we start that Saturday?
Yeah, and you know what was funny is, I wasn't at the show that Corey and Justin had their match, and we did this show the next day. And when Corey came on camera, he said the belt was with him, and so instinctively before we hit record, I said, "You beat Justin Flash, congratulations!" And I was just being cordial. It's not that I don't have a favorite between those two. I like them both, right? But anytime a champion, you have a new champion, you congratulate him if you're an announcer. And he's like, "Well, Matt, I have the belt." And I was like, "Don't say anything else. Let's go on the air with this." So my initial reaction was, well, possession is 9/10 of the law. So even though Justin Flash is the recognized champion, Corey Edsel can always go, "Hey, look, I got a belt. Got the belt."
No, I'm just going to throw this out there because I sit at the house most days these days. And Flash is in the chat. Flash, if you ever need anybody to watch you back, you know where I'm at.
Oh Lord. If Stephen Hayes shows up, there's about a 50 or 75% chance somebody's going to catch a fireball to the face.
It's probably
So,
about 100%, Matt.
oh boy, yes. Corey, you better get some cooking oil or some real
Well,
high grade
Now, here's the
suntan
thing,
lotion.
too. Now, expanding on that a little bit, don't forget you have Mecha Mercenary in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I've heard rumors that Corey Edsel was seen conversing with somebody. That's all I'll say.
Well, this has to be wrestling related. We're not talking about him conversing with somebody.
Well, I mean, no, he
Yeah.
wasn't talking to Apu at the 7-Eleven.
Yeah,
he was.
Okay, that's not. We don't say that. Don't say.
Hey.
Don't say that.
That's a character on The
That's
Simpsons.
it. No,
Not anymore.
Not anymore. It's not.
Bring Apu
No,
back.
it's not.
He
Bring
was
Apu
one of
back.
my favorites.
No, sorry. That's yeah.
God almighty.
Or did they?
I don't know if they got rid of him. If they got
no,
him.
they told him. They basically the producers of Simpsons told the internet to fuck off, but I don't think they're using him as much anymore. So that's the last I read. But I have not watched The Simpsons.
Well, there goes reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's a stereotype definitely based in reality.
Yeah, just because you don't say it don't mean it ain't real.
Yeah. Let me see here.
But anyway,
Go ahead.
it wasn't Billy Bob down at the Crab Shack. I can say that.
Yeah, you can.
But
The fish
it
camp.
was wrestling related.
It was wrestling. Yeah. So that should be
That's
it.
all I can say. Because I don't want to be made out to be a liar. Y'all.
Yeah, this new season that's coming up should be really interesting. The anniversary show started the whole thing off, and it was an awesome event, and I'm really looking forward to this new season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be really exciting. As of The Simpsons season 34, Apu has not appeared in a speaking role for over half a decade. The Simpsons season 29, episode 1, The Surfsons, marked Apu's last voice appearance in the series, although he did appear as a background character in later outings. So they hadn't killed him off or anything. He's still there. He still runs the Quickie Mart. So if you go to Springfield, don't worry. If you go to Broadway at the beach and go into Quickie Mart, Apu is still in charge. There's no reason to freak out. There's not new management. He just does not appear on television as frequently.
They don't let him talk no more, so he won't be stereotyped.
Well, it's the voice actor was not Indian, so it's Hank Azaria.
He missed a good opportunity.
Well,
And he's
that's
the
why I
one that,
call it acting. You know,
Yeah, that's why it's called acting.
yeah. Daniel Day-Lewis wasn't really the president of the United States either, but he did a damn good job doing Lincoln.
They were okay. Never mind. This is not an art. I think the actor who was him said it wasn't appropriate, right? Or
that he didn't feel comfortable playing the character, so he stopped.
Yeah,
See, now that makes sense. I'm okay with that.
If he didn't feel
If he didn't want to do it no more, that's fine.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. But Hank Azaria is a damn talented guy. He does a
Yes,
lot of
he is.
voices on that show. And I still think that when Apu moved in with the Simpsons, Homer and Apu is one of the funniest things. And it's got that song "Who Needs the Quickie Mart" in it. Oh my God, it's hilarious. And that's like back from the 90s, though. That's a real old one. But anyway, all right.
I get away with being upset over the guy who does Mr. Burns.
That's the same guy, I believe. I think. Why? What did Mr. Burns do?
Well, we're old.
Well,
that's fine.
Mr. Burns was 81 in 1993. So fast.
Oh my God, he's 190 now.
Yeah. Yeah, because Homer asked him in that episode, he's like, "How old do you think I am, Simpson?" And he's like, I don't know, 102, like that. And he goes, "No, I'm only 81.
Oh,
I love The Simpsons. I just don't watch it as much as I used to. It's like I really liked it during the 90s, but somewhere along the mid 2000s, I kind of got out of the habit of watching it and just, if it's on.
I think I quit watching it somewhere around season 4.
Yeah. After Conan left, it was like Conan O'Brien was one of the writers, and I think their best years was when he was there, honestly.
That's how little I know about it anymore. So
Yeah.
I got in trouble in junior high because I wore a Bart Simpson shirt that said I was an underachiever, and I got sent home and had to change my clothes.
Oh, that
God.
shirt. They did a newspaper article in Martinsville about that shirt where it said underachiever and proud of it, man. And he was holding the slingshot.
Yes.
Yeah. Crazy. Funny how time changes.
It is funny. So here's my wrestling bits. Don't sleep on the NWA on the CW app. Watch it, give it a chance. You know, maybe you'll sit through a couple of not so great matches, but I've watched all the seasons now, and I'm keeping up to date with them, and it's pretty interesting. It's pretty exciting. I mean, there's some dumb shit that doesn't make any sense, but overall, it's pretty interesting watch. And then now I've learned that OVW puts up their stuff on YouTube like a couple of days afterwards. Not their pay-per-views, but like I guess their television shows. You know, and don't sleep on them either. You know, it's nice to watch something that's a little, you know, out of the mainstream. And then also, if you want to watch obscure weird wrestling, get that YouTube up and put in some stuff, and you'll find it's there, and it's crap. You know, like a lot of people have put together playlists. All you gotta do is find the playlist, click add to your thing, and then you can watch just whatever, and it's fun. And Matt says that I hate good wrestling, but I don't think that's true.
I don't know. When's the last time you watched SmackDown?
I've not watched SmackDown because the weekends are not good for me for watching wrestling because I'm doing stuff with my family.
I'm
doing
like wrestling.
I have an NWA question.
Huh?
Who's the resident modern NWA expert on the panel? Reagan?
Yeah, it'd have to be because I quit watching 3 years ago.
I watch it. I watch it.
Can somebody explain to me how? When did Corgan buy this thing? Like 5 years ago?
18, I think. 18 or 17 or 18. 18, I think.
Well, how is it that when you go on the app and you look on, it's like season 15 or season 17? How did that happen?
Fuck if I know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess
maybe they're counting before
seasons
he
on
bought it.
television aren't always within a year. So, like right now, it says Survivor's on season 700, but it's only been on 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some television shows have 2 seasons within a year. So, and then, you know, they had their internet. The power was on Fight TV, maybe.
Yeah.
And then it was also before that, it was on YouTube. So
that was 15 years ago.
But listen to what I'm saying.
Figure about 12 episodes a season, running twice a year.
Yeah, so like a season, like I was saying with Survivor, it's like on season 40 or whatever, but it's only been on television 30 years or 25, you know, whatever. So you can have shows that have 2 seasons per year. So if they have 2 seasons per year and 18, you know, I mean, I don't know. Or it could have been a CW decision. Who knows? Anyway, don't sleep on it. It's very interesting. It's the wrestling I'm enjoying right now. And I've been watching Raw, Matt. Give me that.
Diesel, it was a title switch that didn't happen on TV in another country. That's what it is.
Phantom.
Yep.
Yeah. So
gotcha.
And then watch your obscure AWA, and then what else?
I still got to get through Smoky Mountain, Memphis, and Continental. But I got too much Continental left. They didn't last for about 4 years.
I tell you, and for you fans out there that are wondering what to watch our shit on the AIWF.
Oh yeah,
Ringside.
That's a given. That's a given.
And AIWF, I'm gonna say it anyway. It's best.
It goes without saying.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
When you're watching
my addresses, Matt.
When you're watching that obscure wrestling, watch the AIWF also.
AIWF Ringside Wrestling and AIWF Network on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Not hard to find.
No, they're not. They're not hard to find. Once we embed our way into your algorithm, we'll be like a fungus. We'll always be there. Our videos will pop up.
Mhm.
So
I have a very interesting one. So
I imagine so. Let's see. I imagine we've all got very interesting algorithms.
no, it's
on
my
YouTube.
it's because I get some weird stuff with like, don't I? I'll be like, what is this? I click it on, like, oh, this is bad. Let's keep watching it. I am the lover of bad wrestling.
There it is. She said it, document it, write it down. March 10th, 2024, 7:52 in
Mario
the
Day.
East. Yep, there we go. All right, so we're gonna get out of here. We got
Good Lord,
wrestling
it's-
coming up this Saturday night in Mount Airy at Veterans Park. We get started with our season. We'll be back here next week, provided everything is in order. Good Lord's willing, the creek don't rise, like my dad used to say. And we can all attend. Any final thoughts before we jet out of here and I do the Bob call to close?
No.
All good here.
All
Shut her
right.
down.
Come out and support
Take it
us
home,
and
Bob.
see what's
All
going
right.
on with Corey and Justin and Kevin and Ty and everybody else.
And
who
Mickey Folk.
puts on a hell of a show. I don't know. I don't want to talk about Mickey. He's getting on my nerves. So
All right.
don't tell him I said that because they could probably beat me up now. So
Oh, this is going to be on the worldwide internet. Well,
Yeah,
it
don't-
is
don't
now.
tell nobody.
Don't
Don't tell
tell
nobody.
Here, let me tell you a secret. All right, we're going to shut it down, folks. Thanks for being with us. Keep your eye on our YouTube channels. We got new stuff going up every day. For Stephen Hayes, Brian and Reagan Dadzik, Rick Diesel, I am Mad Matt Carter. We'll see you next week, wrestling fans. And until next time, so long for now.